So for the Join Us poster, there are two parts to it. You get your blank sheet of paper, and you'll need your History Alive pages starting on page 358, because it's about Lutheranism. We've got 360's got Calvinism, and 362's got Anglicanism. And those are the three that we're going to deal with. So the first thing we need to do, let me get this book out of the way, is set up our sheet of paper on one side so that way we can gather the information we need. So I'm going to create a chart here, and I'm going to have good, I'm going to have bad, and then I need Lutheranism, Calvinism, and Anglicanism. So I've got my chart set up, and basically what I'm going to have is I'm going to have 3 bullets for each section for each one. So what I'm going to do then is I need, as I read through the Lutheranism section, I need to pick out 3 things that I think are pretty good ideas about the Lutheran Church. It's a brand new church they've set up. They've got some new ideas. I'm going to pick out 3 things that I think are good or I like about that religion, that kind of thing. Then I'm also, as I read through it, I'm going to pick out 3 bad things that I don't like about the religion and things like that. So I've got this here. As I read through, I find those good things, I jot them down. I find those bad things, I jot them down. Then I can work on Calvinism, go through, find 3 good things, 3 bad things I don't like. Anglicanism, 3 good things, 3 bad things that I don't like. So I get those things jotted down in here, the good things, the bad things. I do that for each one. And then I've got my chart, and now I know what I like and don't like about each. So then we're going to actually create the poster. So we're just going to flip our sheet of paper over. We can create a poster landscape, or we can create it portrait. Doesn't matter, either way. But what I'm going to do on my poster is I need to have a big title, probably somewhere up here, okay? And the title is something that somebody walking by, and you got your poster attached to a tree or something like that, that they can see that title. It's catchy. It gives them an idea about what you're talking about here. So if you've chosen, let's say, Lutheranism to advertise for, so the idea is that you're advertising to get members for one of these 3 churches. Now, you can pick any of the 3 you want. It doesn't matter. But pick the one that you think maybe is the best, or just pick any one. Okay? And then you're basically advertising for that church. Hey, we want to get people to join this church. But we do have competition. So if I've picked Lutheranism, then my competition is Calvinism and Anglicanism. And so I have to point out, I want to point out some bad things about them, and I want to highlight the good things about the church that I've chosen, Lutheranism. So I have a big thing up here that says, you know, join the Luther Church, or Lutheranism is the best, or whatever your title may be. Okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have maybe a picture here of something good about the Luther Church, and then I'm going to highlight all the positive stuff. Well, where am I going to get my positive things? Well, I've got my good column for Lutheranism. So if I'm advertising for that church, I want to make sure that I am highlighting all the good things about the Luther Church, because we want people to join. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to include information about my other 2 churches, Calvinism and Anglicanism, but I'm going to highlight the bad things, because I don't want people to join them. So I'm going to point out some of the bad things, so that way people go, oh yeah, I don't want to join those guys. So I've got my title, I've got my section on the good things about the church, and a picture to go with it, and then I've got my section on one of the bad churches and the bad things about it, and a picture, and the second church, that's my competition that I want to highlight the bad things about, so that way I can get members to go. Let me show you a couple examples here. Here's an example of one, okay? And so you can see Lutheranism, join us, and then they've got pictures of churches. You don't need to draw pictures of churches, but you should draw something related to maybe something good you were talking about or something bad. Point those things out. But I've got my bulleted points, and I've highlighted those things. So there's an option for you. Here's one that is landscape. Okay, and so the same thing. Calvinism is cool. And then we've got a picture of Calvinism. We've got our bulleted points. We've got Lutheranism, hey, we don't want this. Hey, Catholic, we don't want that. Or Anglicanism. And we've got our information here. So this one's laid out a little bit different. There's just different options for you. Okay, it's up to you to design it, use color, do all those kinds of things, and get that poster to advertise for the church you've chosen.